Hi everybody and big welcome to a cEDH deck tech video and something of a tournament report. With me today I have the winner of the biggest tournament event so far, Steel City Spectacle, where Robert R won with Etali. I was just about to say Rhetoric there, but Etali, 6 wins, 4 losses in a pod with Lofo, Rogsai and Rocco. Huge congratulations. That is definitely an achievement.
Thank you. Yeah, it was it's definitely something to remember, definitely.
So, like, this was a very big tournament. How did it feel like playing this?
It's interesting because there's never been a tournament this size that I've attended. Kind of went into it blind. They had a basic overview of how the days are going to be and the points needed to show up for the next day. But like I said, just going there in the hopes of just having fun and getting some games in, and there was no real expectation, I guess.
Honestly, though, I think that's the best point of view to it. Like, just hoping for the best, crossing fingers and see how it turns out. But you mentioned a point system there. How did that work?
So for every win, you get 5 points. For every draw, you get 1 point. And for every loss, you get 0. After every round, they basically had 6 rounds on day 1. If you didn't accrue 7 points, which is essentially a win and 2 draws, you weren't invited to come back for day 2. It's a cutthroat system, I think. It adds a little bit of pressure to the players, but it's kind of, I think it was a step in the right direction as far as how to organize events of this size.
How many days did this play out on? Was it 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
It's like a Saturday, Sunday, you could say, kind of.
Yep, Saturday they started at 9:30 in the morning. I didn't get out of there until probably 10 o'clock at night, so it's a 12-hour day and just grinding games all day.
You're probably playing at your peak performance at that last game at the end of the day.
Yeah, never, no mistakes, nothing, just clean magic.
You know, I was actually going to ask you, why in the world did you choose to bring a big dino to the table? But when I think about it, if you're sitting there and you're pretty brain exhausted, or maybe that's actually bad, like, is Etali a recommended commander when you're brain exhausted, or is it not recommended when you're brain exhausted at that 6th game in 10 o'clock at the day when you'll be playing for 11 hours?
Yeah, it's I feel like this is a conversation that I've had with people in my play group as well as in Discord. It's like, is Etali a brain dead deck to pilot? And it probably is, maybe, but I don't think you could perform as well or have the records that myself and Cam have with Etali if you're just operating with your brain off. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's it definitely takes a level of skill and knowing timing and win lines and seeing the potential for win lines. Mulligans is very important.
So I've made a lot of videos where I talk about like tournament performance and such, and Etali is okay in general according to my data. This Rogsai here is amazing. This blue farm here and that blue farm over there, these two, they're also pretty amazing. Like, why in the world did you choose to play a Gruul Dino to a tournament?
Yeah, it's I think with my play group, Value Breach, we all basically came up with, typical blue farm, rock thrash, all the other sweaty compositions to bring to the tournament. And then I think it was last minute, we were talking in the Discord and they said, at the end of the day, whoever wins this tournament, it's going to all boil down to luck anyway. And I was like, Etali's basically 99% luck. Let me just wing it and see what happens. And it's pretty ironic that it came to that conclusion,
So you're confessing to be a gambling man.
I mean, yeah, that's what the dyno is. Basically, press the button and watch the wheels turn and see what comes up.
Then I have to ask you, how did you resolve Etali in every single 10? Yeah, you played 10 games. And What was your luck ratio?
Oh, man. Spoiler alert, in the final pot, I won it. But that was probably the peak amount of luck that you could possibly get with Loto giving you double tutors on 2 Etali flips. And a Treasonous Ogre from the Rocco. I mean, I can't have wrote it better myself, so.
You're just getting dual caster molten duplication in that case, right?
No, what did I get? So the first one was an unmarked grave. I put Electro Duplicate into the bin.
Mm-hmm.
And then second flip, I hit, well, on that first one, I also hit a Treasonous Ogre. So on the second hit, I hit a Final Parting, and I had a green mana floating. So Final Parting is essentially a double tutor. You put one into hand and one into the graveyard.
Yeah, it's like an entombment and demonic tutor at the same time, right? In 1/5 mana, exactly. Correct? Yeah.
Correct, yeah. And that basically just puts Food Chain in hand, squeeze into the bin, and just combo off from there.
I'm guessing that it was Lofo that played Final Part. Yeah, that's the Final Parting.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's probably my second favorite card in Magic now. After Etali is Final Parting.
When you play Etali, you kind of have to know a lot of different strange cards out there, I have a feeling.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So what was the weirdest Etali flip you ever got from someone?
I think I remember having a sickening feeling where round 1, I had essentially a turn 2 Etali.
Oh, that's good.
And I think I hit double Chrome Mox, double Mox Diamond with no cards in hand. And that was when I felt like this was a mistake.
Wrong luck.
That set the tone for day 1.
Yeah, that's a rough start.
Yeah. We bounced back, luckily.
Yeah, did you win that one? Or is that one of your 4 losses?
Oh, no, that was round 1, just lost immediately afterwards. Yeah, just it's going to happen.
So one thing you actually think about regarding the part where this tournament was very long, and something I've discovered by myself is that the commanders that I enjoy playing, I usually am able to play at a very durability, so to say. Maybe that's the wrong wording. But when you kind of play the commander so much, I almost wanted to say muscle memory. But even though you can be tired, you actually understand the line a little bit better compared to a commander that is something you don't play that often.
Yeah. It comes back to Etali being a brain dead deck.
Yeah.
It's essentially, you just need to hit a tutor. If you hit a tutor and you hit a Food Chain, it kind of works itself out from there. But when you're playing other lists, you need to be playing optimally most of the time. So I can see it.
So looking at your big pile of Etali Gruul piled deck, you have a few cards that are sticking out. Now I can see the appeal of Emrakul. That's kind of cool to flip into. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big Emrakul fan. Did this ever happen? Did this actually ever resolve?
Yeah. I won a 10K in Long Island by casting an Emrakul in the top 4 pod. It's basically, they talk about this mid-range hell that we're in.
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously, we're in a turbo meta right now, but they talk about this mid-range hell, and Emrakul is essentially a mid-range breaker,
Yeah.
Something turns the game upside down.
I want to actually get back into some other cards you have in this deck, but you started a new topic, mid-range hell. I've heard people say that quite a lot. I actually don't think we are in a mid-range hell.
No.
Please elaborate your point of view here. I would love to hear it.
So this mid-range hell that they speak of, it's essentially people playing for their Ristics, playing for their Remoras, their Smothering Tides, and basically creating this muck that no one can win through or no one can progress further than anyone else. Everyone's keeping each other in check so much where we have essentially draws, most pods ending in draws. That's what a mid-range hell, I think, boils down to. But if anything, from this 20K, you can see none of those mid-range decks really made it to the top 4. So between Rocco, myself, Ral, Roxai, and
Timna, actually, this might be a mixture. No, this looks very turbo. When you're playing the Sakra outlets.
Oh yeah, Timna,
Yeah, there's no stacks here. This is just pure reanimate Hulk, basically.
I lost to him on my 8th round of Swiss, and it's very turbo.
Yeah, it looked very turbo. Rogue Thrasius can be a bit mid-rangey, depending on the player.
Yeah.
Same with Thrasius Yoshimaru. But I agree with you here. The top players, or the top commanders, Inala, Krick, Glarb can be something of a mid-range commander. Then again, Tymna the Weaver can always... Tymna Crom can be like both turbo or mid-range. You don't know until you actually see the cards they play.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do agree with you. Like, overall, when you look at the top commanders, like Cise is something people would argue might be a mid-range commander. Marnius too. They're down at 29 and 30.
30.
Like, yeah, so...
Yeah, those are definitely more mid-rangey.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you see Ral, you see... What else are you saying? Rocco's? What is that, a Chatterfang? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's like Shatterfang.
Yeah.
It look... Dark Confidant, that's a mid-range card for Shatterfang, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Braids, Opposition Agent. So this actually looks like the most mid-range deck in the top section so far.
Yeah, weirdly enough, yeah.
But it also hit like 16th position. So...
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
In my top 16 pod, it was... I had Tymna, Halar, Kirik, and Yoshi Thrass. And myself in 4th seed.
So it
And
was
Kirik...
this deck here.
Correct.
And then Krick, and then Halana Tymna. And you lost to Halana Tymna, I think you said.
No, I versed him in my round 7, and then I versed him again in top 16.
Oh, okay. And then you won in top 16.
Correct.
So you had basically rematch.
Redemption.
Your redemption. Nice.
Yeah, redemption. And I mean, his start was insane. I think turn 1, he had a Tymna out into... Like, he just had the most insane start. That Tymna Halar deck it's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
It's a Protein Hulk in the graveyard to reanimate.
Yeah. He just had Protein Hulk permanently in the graveyard. I couldn't make sense of it. It was weird.
What would you do if you actually stole a Protein Hulk with your deck? Like, imagine hitting Protein Hulk and a sack outlet.
Just off the top of my head, one of them would have to be Treasonous Ogre into... What's a good 2-drop there? I don't even know. What's a good 2-drop? I don't know. Maybe Timberwall in a delighted half. That would be insane.
Among the other cool cards you play in your strange version, I never seen anyone play this one, I think. When you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library during your turn. As long as you have sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this creature. Mm-hmm. What is this?
Keep reading. There's more. There's more mines.
You can tap it, sacrifice a land, and add red.
There you go.
What am I missing?
I mean... The card is... in Gruul, we have very limited everything. We have very limited card draw, very limited interaction, very limited, resources. So when I saw this card out of Edge of Eternities, it kind of did multiple things that Gruul needs. It gives me some sort of card advantage. It gives me mana acceleration. And that's kind of exactly a piece that Etali needs. And it has minor synergies with Reckless Barbarian, if we're going through an LED loop with Breach.
That's true.
Tinderwall, Crystal Vein, all those little synergies. So honestly, since I put the card in my list, it never has come up a single time. So I don't know. It's all in theory. It sounds good, but it's never actually come up. So I don't know.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Most of the other stuff are pretty normal.
Yeah.
Until we get to this thing. Oh, okay. Actually, I can see this. This is like CME one-time use Treasonous Ogre, right?
Yeah, I mean, the card's insane. It's 4 mana. You can make 7 red. It can only be used to cast artifacts or creatures. So the goal of the deck is just get Etali out as fast as possible. And that might be the best ritual on the deck if you really think about it.
When you say that simple, like the part where it's a secondary, weaker version of Treasonous Ogre, I'm surprised that more Etali players aren't playing this.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen so many different variants of Etali lists, and I think it speaks to like you said, the level of how Etali is looked at as a simple brain dead list to pilot, but there's so many different variants, and I find it hard to really come to the conclusion that it's solved and it's a simple deck to pilot when so many different people are trying so many different things,
This is another card I don't usually see inside Etali, Eldrazi Confluence.
It's a good card.
I'm guessing you play it for the ritual part as well as... No, wait, feels like one of those... It's a little bit of everything, similar to how you mentioned it before. It gives you mana, it gives you some kind of card draw, but also, look, it can kill like an Oppo agent, or it can kill a Dragonite Magistrate.
There we go. That's the one right there. That's the one we're trying to kill. It does everything the deck wants. It can flicker your Etali. I think the nastiest thing I've done with it was turn 1 in seat 4. I crapped out all the mana into turned off 3 different people's mana bolts. They all turn 1 played because it flickers in them and returns them tapped. That was probably the best feeling that I've ever had.
Oh, you're gonna be so mad. That's not like it's not even busted. It's just being annoying.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
And then you play Cloudstone Curio. They banned Dockside. If you haven't noticed.
That was my phone was blown up that day when Dockside got banned. I was playing Etali back then too. It was a sad day, but luckily, what was that set? I don't know what set it was, but they came out with that. Dockside's space cousin, I guess, the sticker goblin.
Yeah, I mean it was literally a year ago they banned it. I think.
The Dockside?
Yeah, wasn't it a year ago now?
I don't know. I blocked that all out of my memory, man. I tried to think about it.
But you're still playing Cloudstone Curio.
Mm-hmm.
You still think it's worth it?
Yeah. It goes infinite with sticker goblin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
And a one drop red creature.
Yeah, you do have a bunch of those. You have Ragavan, Orcish Lumberjack. No, sorry, that's it.
That's it.
But that's usually enough.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, I think it should honestly probably be cut from the list. But there was a time when I was running into a lot of problems with people not wanting to concede after establishing Food Chain Squee and Infinite Creature Mana. They always ask, how do you win? And I'm just sitting there like, I'll cast all your guys' things or not cast them. I'll keep them on exile and pass the turn. All right, well, I can win past that. All right, so let me establish a Lightning Bolt, Sticker Goblin, Ewit, Luke.
Yeah.
And that's why essentially it was in there. But and also just for the fact it can make infinite red on its own. But I took out Ewit prior to taking this to the 20K. So that whole explanation is out. So I don't know, I should probably take it out.
I mean, the part where you're bouncing your Etali is still okay. Like if you hit Cloudstone Curio and any creature from an opponent, you get your Etali back to your hand. So I don't know.
I don't think that's where I'd rather just be able to secure an Etali.
The One Ring. What do you think of that?
It's the best we got. That and Sylvan Library, while other people have their Ristics and their fishes and everything else drawing cards, we're just drawing cards the Christian way, by exchanging life for it,
That whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah. Chastising ourselves.
I never heard anyone describe it like that. That's the first time. And yeah, you already mentioned the Sylvan Library. That's the deck, more or less.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stickers.
People say Emrakul should be taken out, but I mean, it wouldn't mean... No, it's too good.
It's too good. I honestly think that Emrakul is... I mean, look at like this. Your entire deck is focused on making mana. And sure, 13 mana is quite a lot. But you still have a lot of sorceries, a bunch of instants, a bunch of artifacts. The enchantment count is rather low. Fetch lands will go to grave. You're going to sacrifice a creature here and there. And look, you have 2 planeswalkers. So the chance of making Emrakul cheaper is there. And with your build entirely focused on making mana, if you draw into it, you could cast it.
Yeah. And even then, people try to say the argument of early game, you turn 1 in Etali, turn 2 in Etali, and you hit an Emrakul. What does that do for you? I mean, it does several things. For one, it puts the spotlight on another player because now everyone's panicking that you're going to be controlling that person. So they're going to burn resources to make sure that you can't win on their turn. And you have a 13-13 flyer at that point, which is not anything that's going to be, should be forgotten. It opens up too many conversations. It opens up too many windows for opportunities. It just does probably an auto include, I think, at Etali. I don't see why you would play the list without it.
I'm not going to say auto include, but I think definitely it's a card that Etali should consider. I think more decks could consider it actually. Obviously, Yuriko enjoys Emrakul.
I've never seen a Yuriko cast a Emrakul. That would be...
One day it will happen.
Yeah.
We get to see it a lot though in Yuriko.
Yeah.
But I think a big portion here is that there's a bunch of creatures you need to kill sometimes. And this is a creature removal too, because you just force them to attack into your Emrakul.
Yeah, that as well. The utility, it has a very high ceiling. And I think that's something that the deck really needs,
Yeah.
Like a lot of the cards. Between the newer one, the Eldrazi Confluence, the ones you've touched on.
Yeah.
They look questionable in theory, but they have a lot of utility, which is, in Gruul, you really need those kind of things,
I mean, the part where this is always doing something good for you, it's never really a dead card. Like, sure, it is expensive. 4 mana is quite a lot, but your deck is built around making mana. And the part where it's always doing something, flicker Etali, make mana, kill Draenite, you will always find a use case. So going back to the tournament in general, the top match, the final battle between Etali, Lofo. I'm actually gonna say this. I never thought I would see a Lofo getting this far in a tournament. So before we actually jump in and talk about the play out here, what did you experience from a Orzhov Lofo deck? What's your take? I've never played against Lofo, by the way, just as a commander. Or well, as a commander, I would say.
I showed up late to sit down at the final pod. And when I sat down and I saw Lotha in the command zone, I didn't know I thought I was getting trolled or something like that. I didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
The guy piloting it, however, super sweet guy, really wholesome guy. The list is spicy.
To be fair, it does have some control. Now we do see a Hoarding Broodlord, which is definitely how he's winning, I'm guessing. Abdel Adrian, so I'm guessing there's going to be an Animate Dead in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. But there's still a bunch of, like, it's a mixture. We have Trouble in Pairs as a value card. Necropotence is probably a finisher for him. But he also plays Wandering Archaic as a control card, Oppo Agent. So it looks like a mix. But, like, Turbo is there.
I was talking to people after the fact, and I'm wondering how good Lotho in the command zone honestly is. The fact that you can get it out relatively early, it doesn't have the Rog-Rack level of enabling interaction, but the fact that it passively generates you sneakily a high amount of mana, the value is there. I can see why you choose that as the commander.
I actually have some data on Lofo inside 99s, and he is doing great. It's a very good card.
Oh, yeah.
People who get Lofo in play win more, so to say. That's a fact. Yeah, they do.
Wow.
It is.
Is he on Draenei?
Yeah. There's a Draenite, Dolphy Voidwalker, Orcish Bowmaster. This is a very Aven Interrupter. So and the Drana and Linvala. So he's really playing a high. He's playing control, or he has control capabilities. Is a good word for it.
I mean, just looking at his list just makes me even more astonished how lucky I was to have won. Because just in the creature section alone, I'm looking at 4 cards that say I'm doing nothing that game.
Draenite is killing you.
The Aven Interrupter.
Yeah, that one is annoying for you. I guess this. Yeah, Drana and Linvala is annoying for you, kind of sometimes.
Yeah, you can't activate Treasonous Ogre.
Yeah, Wandering Archaic is okay. You can play Fruit, I guess, but what is your take?
Yeah, I don't think that would be an issue really. Because I mean, I'm just trying to win. So if I don't win, he's going to be able to cast all the things, and hopefully he'll win on his turn.
Yeah. So back to the top 4 again. Lofo being a little bit odd out. How did it play out? Why did you win? Luck. Was it luck or was it pure skill?
Probably an even amount. In all honesty, it was an even amount.
That's an honest man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. What was it? It was seat 1 was Lotho. Seat 2 was Roxai. I was in C3. Rocco's in C4. Lotho, I think he snap kept his first 7, which I knew he had a Draenith or something of that nature, because why else would he, snap keep? Roxai, well, pretty low. I think down to either 5 or 4. I kept my first 7, which I think I played it all out on turn 1. It was like a Gaia's Cradle, Cavern, Mox Diamonds, LED, Open the Omen Pass, and Underworld Breach. And then Rocco, he kept his also his first 7. So
Wait, just to clarify, there was a Draenith Magistrate in play early in the game?
No.
Okay,
no.
sorry.
It was I won on turn 2, luckily, before that actually came down. Yeah, so get that out of there.
Did you literally win on your Etali flip? No, yeah, on the first cast. Nice.
No, second cast, essentially.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, first cast, yeah. I think I was panicking because Lotho on turn 1 crapped out a Lotho into pass. Roxai just played a land and Rock Rack. I dumped my whole hand out. Rocco dumps his whole hand out. Rocco, by the way, if I didn't win on my turn, Rocco was 100% winning on his turn because he just had it all. Turn 2, Lotho jams out a blind obedience, and I don't know if I remember he showed his hand afterwards, and I think he had a Dolphy Voidwalker or something else that he could have played, but instead he opted for blind obedience. And I don't think he realized that LED can be activated through a blind obedience.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, I don't think he realized that, or else he probably should have picked something different. But regardless, I know he thought it affected me a little, and he definitely thinks it affected the Rockside player. The Rockside player, by the way, turn 2 on Lotho's end step and appeared suitors, which I'm thinking we're dead. He goes Phyrexian Tower into Sacrifice Rograt into Necropotence. At this point, I know I'm dead. I know there's no chance of me being able to win this game.
But here's the thing. Blind Obedience is pretty good versus Necropotence.
Against it? Yeah, I guess so.
Because all the artifacts you find come in tapped.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, Lotho didn't know that he was going to have Necro. So Rockside grabs the Necro. I'm panicking because they're obviously going to sculpt the God Hand in order to secure their next turn. A bit of conversation happens, and I start pointing out that, hey, I'm going to crap out an Etali next turn, and I'm going to hit you for 1 million damage. And Rocco's going to do the same, and Lotho's going to do the same. So you should probably slow down on your Necropotence. Now, all this was BS, by the way, because the Lotho player just played a blind obedience, which means there's nobody's going to be hastily attacking anyone because they're going to be entering taps. But I don't think he realized that, and instead he only Necropotences for like 10 instead of doing the correct thing, which is probably necroing for as much life as needed. He sculpts his hands and he passes to me. And I just look at him, I stare at him for a while, and I just ask him, I was like, listen, if you have a single piece of interaction, because my hand at this point is just Breach into Open the Omen Pass into cast Etali. I was like, if you have a single piece of interaction, tell me now, and I won't jam. At least you can stop Rocco, who can 100% win on his turn, He tells me that he can neither confirm nor deny, and I ask him, I was like, are you sure? Because I'm going to jam right now, and I don't want to just lose to Rocco. He doesn't say anything.
Can I just say a few words here? I totally agree with what you're doing here, actually. And I kind of agree with what Rogsai is doing too, because all he needs to do is just say, I have interaction, here it is. If you jam, I stop you and we both lose. And then he takes his card back and says, I'm ready to interact with Rocco too, instead.
Yeah.
And then he lives and survives. And he gets to have a turn free with his Necro. But I think what you're doing is great too, because in this situation, you also get to have a turn free.
Yeah, exactly.
Because unless Rogsai wins on his turn free, that is, so to say. But,
Lotho my hope is that Lotho is going to secure Rogsai under check. That was my hope there.
But I just want to emphasize this part because I do think that sometimes, Commander is a social format where communication is allowed, and trying to communicate with other people is a recommended thing to try and make sure you win tournaments. Never really with ill intent, because, we're here to have socialize with other people in the end.
100%. I think that's at the heart of the game. Commander is supposed to be a social format. Maybe sometimes it goes a little overboard with that, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm trying to win. 3 other people are trying to win, and let's just gain as much information as we can to try to get to that point. You know?
I mean, you can be unsportsmanshiply or you can be obnoxious, but that's just being a
Yeah,
bad person. But that's not what we're talking about. Here we are talking about having a normal conversation.
yeah. I think there's very clear distinguishes between unsportsmanlike or being abusive, and I mean, when you see it, you just got to call it out, call it Dutch immediately. You know,
Yeah.
there's no reason for that to be had in
Like,
a game
yeah.
made for ages 14 and up. You know.
This is actually important too. If you're going into a game and you're playing against an obnoxious person who won't stop talking, you can literally just say, okay, you've made your point, I've heard your point, and I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel that this is what I believe to be the best decision with the knowledge that I have.
I feel like it needs to be stated clear enough that these judges that show up to these events, large or small, they're paid to be there. And a lot of them, they love to do it.
Yeah.
They are more than happy to come over. They will pull you aside. If you have a fear of, being put into the spotlight for whatever reason, just tell the judge, I'd like to talk to you away from the table. They'll more than happily take you aside, talk to you, make sure you feel comfortable enough so that you're not ostracized in the situation.
I want to add to that. I've actually heard judges saying it's very boring when no one is making judge calls because then they just stand there. So Rogsai said nothing, and that basically means he is hoping that you believe he has something, and then you go for it. And
he basically gives me the green light without giving me the green light.
yeah.
So there's a world where I play conservatively, which completely went out the window as soon as the Necrophos hit the play, and which I decided I was going to go all in because I could have just casted the Omen Pass, cracked LED, and just cast Etali. But instead, I went the route of gaining maximum output, which was securing the Omen Paths into the breach, into crack LED, into casting LED again, and then casting Etali. That way, I'll be left with 2 cards in the bin, and hopefully get to a point where I can get more cards into the bin and continue storming off instead of going into that Etali flip without a breach in play.
Ah, I see what you mean there. So you basically had like a keep Underworld Breach for next turn, or go Underworld Breach now and hope that it will lead into casting Etali twice or more.
No, it was either crack LED, discard the breach, and just secure an Etali by tapping out, or get to the point of casting Etali with a breach in play. And I give credit to myself as not being a brain dead Etali pilot at that point, and realizing that there's an optimal way of achieving the same end goal, and I went the route that secured maximum optimization. We get the Etali out. Like I said, I hit a Treasonous Ogre, which I was ecstatic. The Rockside player gave me nothing at that point. I think it's Unmarked Grave from the Lotho player, which is find a non-legendary card, put it into your bin.
It is, yeah, it's a variation to Entomb. Here it is. Search a library for a non-legendary card, put it into bin. That's perfect when you have your breach in play.
Exactly. But the fortunate thing is I hit a Red Blast, but there was no blue permanence in play. And Red Blast is one of those weird cards where it's not like Pyroblast, or it's either one of those two. One of the two you can't cast.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. So Red Elemental Blast has to have a target where Pyroblast doesn't. Okay, Pyroblast can be casted even though it doesn't do anything.
Correct. My Underworld Breach, I only had 2 cards in the bin, and the Unmarked Grave, whatever I got, would be the 3rd card. So that would mean I wasn't able to escape. Because I hit the Red Elemental Blast, I didn't reach the threshold of having 4 cards in the bin. Luckily, there's that awesome card, Electro Duplicate, which came out of Foundations, I believe.
It's a source. There it is.
Yeah,
here it is. Yeah. Smart.
So I hit that one. I spent the 12 life to cast it. Rocco hits, I think it was a Vivian or something of that. And all I saw was Lotho. He looked me in the eyes, and then he showed me the card, and it was the final parting. I just looked at it. I explained, well, this is GG, unless you guys have anything, because I'm just going to get food chain to hand and squeeze to the bin. And I just extended my hand out, and they all shook it, and that was the game. Turn 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. That was all luck, though. There was no skill involved there. That was all gambling on the dino.
My grandpa always kept telling me, never be stupid. And I think that finding Electro Duplicate was, he would have thumbs up.
That was my final pod. My top 16 pod was a really good one. I believe the pod composition was the Timna Halar guy, Kirik.
That one, yes, Cantrell here.
Yeah, and Yoshi Thras.
How did that go?
Yeah, I was in seat 4 that game because I think I had the worst breakers after Swiss, or second to worst. But yeah, I'm going in seat 4. I keep turn 2 Etali hand, which is kind of always where you want to be. Thinking back on that game now, the only reason I won is because of turn order, being in C4, honestly.
Is that because other people basically went before you, interactions was spent, and no interaction was left against you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was perfect. You couldn't have wrote it any better myself, honestly. The Timna Halar player, just turn 1 had the most disgusting start I've ever seen. It was like turn 1 Timna into like enough mana to resurrect Christ. It was disturbing. The Kirik player, turn 1, played fairly humble. He just put out some rocks and passed. Yoshi Thras was doing nothing. I think they just had a land go.
Woof.
Yeah. They didn't even cast Yoshimaru. They just played a land and passed. They were really scared because they were the only blue pilot. No, they were the only blue pilot in the pod. I guess they were holding up interaction, which was the right play.
Yeah.
So yeah, turn 2, Timna Halar, they draw some cards, they attack, they pass, and then Kirik just full sends it. They ritual into Kirik, into Demonic Tutor, which eats a Swan Song from the Yoshi Thras player. They then cast a card, I think it's called Insatiable Avarice or something of that nature. Man, I'm getting good. See, I just remember that off the top of the head. They cast that card, which was like draw 3, lose 3 life, and he only spent life to do it. It was disturbing. Luckily, the Timna Halar player hit him with the Orcish Bowmaster, which was able to kill his Kier. All the interaction was used to stop him.
A Swan Song and an Orcish Bowmaster.
He ate both.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, Yoshi Thras, he passes. The Kier player, he passes. Yoshi Thras goes and plays a land into a Soul Ring, into tapping out for a Rhetoric study. And once again, I feel like I'm about to lose now because the same as in the final pod where they play something with Necropotence, and I feel like great. Now this guy plays Rhetoric, and I'm feeling like great.
Turn 2 Rhetoric is really strong.
Yeah, super strong. I mean, that's like one of the best things you can do. And me and my Etali brain, I say, I don't care. I'm going to send it.
Dino!
I said, I don't even care. I talk again, like I usually do. I do a little yapathon of being like, hey, I'm going to cast Etali here. Before I cast Etali and draw the Rhetoric Study player 17 cards, does anyone want to say anything? It was silence from the crowd, so I sent it. On the very first flip, I casted Hellkite Tyrant, which ETBs puts Etali into play. Etali ETB, the Timna Halar player gives me a Mana Rock or something of that nature. The Kirik player gives me a Hoarding Broodlord, and Yoshi Thras gives me something else. No, the Timna Halar gave me an Abrupt Decay. Kirik gave me a Hoarding Broodlord, and Yoshi Thras gave me a Counterspell or something of that nature.
And then you gave Yoshimaru Thrasios 5 cards with Rhetoric Study.
Yeah, I gave him like 4 cards there. He draws his 4 cards after I announce what I'm casting. And
you drew an Abrupt Decay. You destroyed Rhetoric Study, right?
Of course, man, of course. I'm getting there. I'm getting.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. In this situation, we're going to break down whether or not Etali is a brain dead deck or not. But I order it to resolve. Obviously, we're going to destroy the Rhetoric into Hoarding Broodlord, and then the last spell in the stack is a Molten Duplication. So I order it this way because I'm thinking in the future where I remember that Hoarding Broodlord has this nifty little Convoke thing, which I can use to cast, in this situation, a Dualcaster Mage.
Oh, wait, this is actually perfect because Etali is red for the Dualcaster Mage.
Exactly. And the Hellkite Tyrant is also red. I was...
And you already have the Molten Duplication on stack, right? Correct?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I did. I resolved the Abrupt Decay, resolved the Hoarding Broodlord, put the multiplication on the stack, flashed in the Dualcaster Mage, and none of them had anything. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Can't write this stuff any better. You know? I give a little credit to myself, and a lot of it's very much luck. I mean, hitting a Hoarding Broodlord is absolutely disgusting off an Etali clip, but I mean, being able to see the line there, because you would like to think, or I would like to think that a normal pilot would just say, hey, we can get more Etalis here. But being able to see that there's a win line here with the dual casting mage and the multi-duplication and ordering my triggers and my castables in a certain way to achieve that goal, it's something that should be noticed.
This is why I actually agree that Etali is a big brain commander, because you do need to know about a lot of other cards that you run into and how they function and how you can puzzle those together to achieve that combo that you talked about, instead of going for, just like you said, more rituals.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you found that Cloudstone Career.
Exactly.
And I have another big final topic before we finish. If someone is going to choose between playing Etali or not playing Etali, why should they play Etali or stay away from Etali?
You should stick with Etali if you like to get your blood flowing. You like to add pressure to the game. If you like to add a little bit of chaos into the pods, if you like to go gambling, these are all reasons why you should keep playing Etali. You should stay away from it if you don't like to have fun, if you're a boring person, if you like Ristic Studies, if you like Drained Magistrates, just stay away from it. It's not your kind of day. You know?
I love that. Robert, thank you so much for coming here and explaining how to play Etali. And once again, huge congratulations to winning this tournament. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.